All right, paramedic both are here. Back again for week 6 with the word on the street. I'm here with paramedic Ed Whitaker, who is also a fire chief of a local fire department here. He's been a paramedic since Jesus. So, Ed, with all your years of service, what do you think the biggest crisis to EMS is, and how has it affected EMS as a whole?
I would have to say our biggest downfall right now is a shortage of paramedics and EMTs and the ability to find qualified personnel to work. And
What do you think caused the shortage? The biggest factor you think that caused the shortage?
pay is one of them. There's not a lot of services wanting to pay above minimum wage or a comparable salary to factory work with benefits that are comparable to other marketplaces. Um, the training that goes into it and the time you have to dedicate to that training and the clinical time that's unpaid and where they've had to accredit classes and now you've taken a couple $100 class up to a couple $1,000 class. People don't have the money for it.
So, why do you think that they made the college accreditation requirement a thing? And is that what you think the biggest detriment is to creating new paramedics?
I don't know if it's the biggest detriment, but it's definitely, I don't know. I understand why they did the accredited to kind of streamline the training because you had training center A and training center B teaching different methods and different techniques
So,
and
trying to get the same knowledge to all the people, but in doing it, they kind of limited how many
they limited
classes you could put on and who could put on the classes, which made it harder to get into and more expensive. What do you think now that we are where we're at with this gigantic paramedic shortage? The EMTs they're short, obviously, but they're not as short. You can churn out an EMT a little quicker than a medic. Um, with the shortage of paramedics in EMS, how do you think now that we have this accreditation requirement that we can remedy that problem and get more paramedics on the street quicker?
mm,
Remove accreditation.
remove the accreditation.
Since this is for a college video, we're talking to you. Or remove the accreditation. No, I'm just kidding.
State funded, yeah, some state funded training and courses could help because there's in some of the eastern and western parts away from the cities, I know it's hard for some folks to get into a class because they just don't have the money because the salaries aren't there or the time's not there.
Now, do you think if more agencies were able to put on in-house classes and provide classes for their members, kind of like Metro EMS and a couple other services do, where they pay you to go to class, they pay you while you're doing your clinicals. Do you think more widespread classes like that would increase the number of quality paramedics on the street?
Potentially, it could increase the amount of paramedics. Now, the quality will come from
The quality of the class.
the training and B the field training time and their clinical time.
Okay. So just to kind of recap, the biggest crisis to EMS is the shortage of providers, which is a huge crisis. Uh, with the shortage of providers, there's obviously less people to care for patients, so there's going to be longer response times because you have less trucks on the street. There's going to be more runs holding. There's going to be more burnout, which is going to perpetuate the cycle, I'm guessing, because nobody's going to want to work 16-hour shifts every day of the week and keep coming back. But if that's the standard, then nobody's going to want to come either. So
Right.
it's a catch-22. But providing more accessible classes for people to get more people interested or able to participate would be beneficial.
I believe so. I believe it would greatly increase the personnel that we have on the street now, and potentially could increase the quality because there could be a lot of people that are hesitant about taking a class right now just because of the monetary issues.
Well, maybe I know Oldham County is talking about either sponsoring classes for their employees or bringing in instructors to teach
Mm-hmm.
classes in house. So when I spoke with our director in our last video, he spoke about bringing in instructors within 5 years. He wants to do in-house paramedic programs. So hopefully that'll be the thing. And we've kind of covered this topic. We've got our 5 minutes. And since we were idiots and did this video outside, we're about to be assaulted by a bunch of mud daubers. So we're going to end this here with the week 6. We'll see you next week for week 7.